seeing the result on the board, knowing that record is all yours?
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, we put a lot of emphasis in it. We haven't shied away from our feelings about how important we think it is for us as a club and for our coaching staff and for our players. We've taken a lot of pride in it, we put a lot of weight in it, and so now we need to, at least for a few minutes, celebrate it.
To do it with a shutout probably is even more satisfying, because that's kind of been a catalyst to you guys this year with your defense.
Yeah, no, I'm satisfied with the shutout. There's a lot of things I'm unsatisfied with, but I'm satisfied with the shutout, and I'm real satisfied with the result.
What are some of those things you're unsatisfied with tonight?
I think first and foremost the energy level was extremely low today, and I think there's a lot of reasons why, but that I understand and can agree with and can accept. But being the type of person I am and being a coach, I want better. I want better out of my group every day, and we'll hope that it was just a little bit of an anomaly, a little bit of a blip in our schedule. That I think you add up the temperature out there during that match. You add up the Wednesday night match to Saturday afternoon, that's a pretty short turnaround. And just add up the number of games that we've played recently, and I think you can come up with some reasons why.
Can you talk about the Nets play that led to the goal? It seemed like you'd be the more unlikely person, one-on-one in the box ahead of everyone.
Yeah, he played in the number 10 spot for us, so he was expected to be in and around their penalty box. I thought it was a real nice run on his part and an excellent pass from Salario to set that goal up. And, a proper decision by the referee, so pleased.
Jason, how much did you feel, obviously that penalty and then the sending off of Conde changed the match at that point?
It's difficult to say, because I think, up until that point, the energy level was pretty similar to what it was after. By both teams, really. I mean, I can be harsh on my team for a long time, but I would say the same thing about Chicago. So something about the temperature and the time of the match today, maybe really were the big reasons why it seemed like a low energy game.
Even with that, you still were creating chances at the end, it seemed like you were attacking
when
you had the opportunity.
I mean, listen, if we're a man up for a half, I expect us to create chances and probably expect us to score goals. So they were there, but I don't think it was so much to do about what we were doing to create them. I just think that they were there. They were going to always be there.
You've seen Paulo now for a few minutes, a couple of games in a row. Tell us about him a little bit.
Yeah, I thought he came in and did pretty well again tonight. He also looked just a half a step fatigued. I thought even our substitutes that came in, their energy level wasn't high enough. But he's the first thing he does when he gets on the ball is take a great shot that hits the post, and that's why we've signed him, because we know he strikes a fantastic ball and he can do some dangerous things in and around the opponent's goal.
Jason, it turns out you guys have not only the longest shutout streak in MLS this season, you have the 2 longest shutout streaks in MLS this season. How does that make you feel?
It's good. It's very good. I'm never going to be one to tell you that streaks like that and a chance to put your club's name in the paper aren't important to us, because they are. We like it. Take a lot of pride in every time we see our name, positive sentence in the newspaper. So we'll take it.
Just going to talk about I know you've spoken about this before, kind of the whiplash effect. This time last year, things were struggling, and your team was still trying to find itself. Now, a year later, you're one of the top, if not the top team in the league.
For a few more hours, I think we're first place.
Yeah, for a few more, yeah. So, I mean, is that sort of stunning when you stop and think about that at all?
No, not at all. I mean, I guess as somebody that saw the group every single day of last year and has now seen this group, which is largely the same every day for the last several years, I would tell you that I always knew that this was the potential of the team.
Jason, I was asked this week, and I'm going to ask you the same question I was asked.
Uh-oh.
When did you know this team was something special?
I would say preseason of last year. Our last preseason trip was in Charleston, and at that point, at that time, I really felt like, okay, this is the group that I've envisioned for a long time, playing the type of soccer that we as a staff have envisioned for a long time. And I think, over last year, if you look at the entirety of last year, which is what I did at the end of the season, if you picked out the games that we were really all together and all focused and on the same page, we were fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, there were a lot of times in between those, but to have those games from the beginning of the season all the way through to the end of the season made me feel like, yes, this is the team that I saw in the preseason this year, and this is the team that I think we've been trying to build for a long time, and this is the team that should challenge for championships for quite a while.
Jason, how much is all this success going to change the expectation level or perception going into the playoffs, especially compared to last year?
I think, again, when I think about a lot of expectations and pressure, outside influences, I think that that's for outside people. The people in the locker room know what we're capable of. The people in the locker room know what's expected and demanded of them. And then when we do those things, we'll win. We'll win our fair share of games, and we'll advance. And so, if we just begin to think about, read, be overly concerned with what's going on outside the locker room and what people are saying about us outside the locker room, is when we're always going to be in trouble, whether those things are good or bad.
Seems like even with injuries and suspensions, your depth allows you to put a competitive team out on the field every night.
Yeah, I've been pleased with the guys that have stepped in starting roles, and I think every game, the guys that have been called upon in some really important matches in some really important places, younger players and experienced players have stepped to the forefront and pulled their weight. So it's important, and it's going to be even more important over here in the next couple of weeks.
All right, guys. Oh, go ahead.
Where do we stand on injuries right now?
Fabian was very close to being available for the 18. It was more a decision about being a little more precautionary with him, because I know that he's had some muscle injuries in the past, and if we pushed him a little too fast, then we've had recurrence. So I really wanted to take a precautionary measure there and say, okay, let's just wait one more game. Javier is looking pretty good. He still hasn't trained. So tomorrow we're going to check in. We'll have a small training session for the guys that didn't factor into the match too much tonight. We'll see if we can get them involved and have more of a definitive answer on that tomorrow and over the next couple of days. I'm very hopeful that he'll be available Wednesday.